You are now at the CAS Prep Annual Spring Reception and Fundraiser for June 16th, 2018. I am your MC. My name is Victor Burt. I am from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I went to Michigan State University. Go Green. The sun is out, the clouds are open, so it is a beautiful day and you all look amazing. So we're super excited today to have you here at Amarachi Restaurant. Let's give Amarachi a round of applause because they always put on, you can do better than that. Come on. We want to thank the Adewumi family, Bug, Max, all the staff, Lady A, everybody. Feel free to, they're going to be your maitre d's. They're going to make sure that you guys are taken care of. Needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him a short one. He is obviously it's about to be Father's Day. He is a great father. He is a great mentor. He's a great friend. He is a great teacher. Obviously, he's a great entrepreneur. He's been my friend for all of 7 days, and it has been a wonderful week. I'm sure we're gonna have a fight by the end of the day. Also, he has a birthday coming up tomorrow. So really quick, we want to invite to the stage Mr. Samuel Adewumi.
Thank you, Mr. Victor Burt. I think we will fight by the end of the day. I'm going to make this quick because this young man has to leave. But I wanted him to be part of this because he represents the first class and the first cohort of CAS Prep students. And without his class and without him and his energy, we probably would not be here right now. His class set the tone for what CAS needed to be and why we needed it in CAS. And even though he prepped with us during that first year of CAS, he didn't get into a specialized high school, but he took advantage of that opportunity to really progress further in his academic career. He is graduating this month, if you haven't graduated already, on the 22nd, and he is on his way to Binghamton University. So I just wanted to have him. He had actually left and came back, and I told his dad he needs to be here. Like this is what CAS is about. He represents what CAS is about. Helping our youngsters get to whatever level they want to, wherever they want to go to. And so I felt it important that you come back. I'm glad that you did. I also want you to say a couple of quick words. So without further ado, let me introduce to you Jabari Brown, and also let me present you with this small token of our appreciation of you and the work that you have done over these last couple of years from CAS Prep School. Thank you so much.
I've known Sam for a long time, and even after I left his program, I came back and helped him. I see the dedication he has for the kids and the passion and drive, and I just hope that rubs off on me and I grow up to be someone just like Mr. Sam, so I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Sam has always been a really great friend to me. He has always sort of like looked out for me. He brought me into this program as a teacher, and just to watch sort of the development and evolution of CAS into what it is today. I want to say he started out with like 13 students, I'm sorry, double that. I'm a math teacher, it's a track one. So he started off with 13 students, and now today we have over about 100 students, right? So it only goes to show the amount of dedication and work. And so one thing that I like about Sam is that he never hesitates to delegate tasks to people, especially me. So sometimes I'll find myself at his house grading papers well into the wee hours of the morning. And whether it's emails, like Sam is always working on this program. He's sending emails out. Like I'll get a notification at like 1 o'clock in the morning that something is happening with CAS. I'll get a group text mail message at 11:30 at night, and I'm like, what could you be doing but that's how dedicated he is to this program. That's how much, you guys don't see what's happening behind the curtain, so to speak, but this program is always on his mind. He is always committed to these kids. He's always committed to the staff and their development. Because I want to say there are kids that there are people that they're not kids anymore. Some of them are having drinks. So there are people that are working in the program today that have worked with or been his student at one time or another. So he's a consummate professional. He's always working, always developing, always encouraging, and it just goes to show like we are looking today at the hard work that he has done and put forward towards this program. So again, Sam, we just all want to say thank you. And I'll stop talking. Enjoy your food. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Obviously, you guys look very beautiful. Came out today. So, isn't it a wonderful day out today? Yes. Right? Some of you who weren't here last year, it was raining. It was soggy. It was a very, very trying day, but we pushed through. So if we had a great program last year, imagine what this year is going to be like. So now we want to take the time to introduce, and some of you who weren't here or maybe missed out, this program started, what was it, 8 years ago, Mr. Sam? How many years ago? 5. My math is off today. 5 years ago, maybe it was in your head 8 years ago, and then it came to fruition 5 years ago. There we go. I knew I would get it right. So 5 years ago, he started a program, a man with a vision, a dream, a hope, a wish. 13 students came together, and this was at the YMCA? At the YMCA downstairs in the Bedford Y. Sam brought me in for a 2-day trial. It didn't work out. Fired me immediately after the 3rd day. It was okay. But I learned a lot of lessons from that 2 days. I used those to be able to come back, and now he brings me in like almost every week. So Mr. Sam is, like I said, he's a consummate professional. He is an educator. He's an educator's educator. He was recently acknowledged by the Brooklyn Tech Alumni Association. What was it, the Community Leadership Award? Where, we had to go out and we had to all pay homage to Sam and kiss the ring, so to speak. But no, he does so much great work, stuff that you guys don't even hear about. Like I said, he's a coach at Brooklyn Tech, JV, I believe. You guys won 2 games this year? More than that? So, he's a great coach. He also, some of you didn't know this, he is a published poet. He has a poetry book out. He is also a fitness trainer. He took me to the gym one time and embarrassed me thoroughly. I said I just wanted to go there and jump rope. He put some 135-pound dumbbells in my hand, and my shoulder has never been right since. So thank you very much, Sam. He also, like I said, he's a great dad. His daughter is here today, and she is thriving in her doctorate program. So this is just to say that he doesn't just talk it to kids, he practices what he preaches, and you can see it in his daughter. So we want to take time to acknowledge our 2018 graduates. And so coming to the stage, we have 2018 students, my apologies, the 2018 students. So we want to give just a small token of our appreciation, a certificate to our 2018 students. These are young people who are young seedlings and growing to be great, what's a big tree? The redwoods, the sequoias? There's going to be sequoias in their own rights. I believe Miss Diane is going to introduce. Miss Diane? Miss Diane is she's like the oracle of the program. The oracle. Miss Diane will read the names. I'll hand the certificate to Mr. Sam. We'll shake the hands. Don't we do like that?
Okay, hi parents. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for supporting the program and coming out today. We're gonna call some names and please support the kids. Yell for all the children, even though they aren't yours, okay? We want them all to feel happy that they've achieved this certificate today. So the first student's going to be Joseph Adewumi. He's in shock. He's in shock. He's sitting in the DJ booth like, what? I didn't do nothing. Yes, you did a lot. Congratulations, JoJo.
Congratulations.
Shake hands. Turn around, let the people see you. Turn around, show them your certificate. Good job. This is uncle and nephew, by the way.
All right.
Thank you. Next up, Sky Mullins, would you please come down?
Yay!
Sky here?
Here.
Sky?
All right.
Okay. Sorry about that. Sade Adewumi, would you please come forward?
There she is.
Congratulations. Next we have Aiden Miles. Would you please come down? We might have missed them. Okay. Sheldon Taylor, would you please come forward? Sheldon is a PS 11 student, of which I'm the guidance counselor, by the way. Thank you. Congrats, congrats. Amani Green, would you please come forward? This is the stuff the news is not highlighting today, right? Yeah. Come on. Turn around so they can give you a round of applause. Beautiful. Abigail Bagotes or Baggett? Abigail? Turn around so they can see how beautiful you are. Congratulations. Rima Adewumi, would you please come forward? I don't know, I heard the Adewumi name like 4 times. I'm saying, what's up? Congratulations. Don't shake hands with your uncle. Nyla Edwards Kaba, also a PS11 former student. Just saying. Come on down.
There she is. So smart.
Good job. Good job. Turn around so people see you. Congratulations. Cappy Davis, are you here?
There she is.
Yes, come on down. Cappy. Congratulations, you're welcome. Kiana Allen, are you here? Come on down.
Hey.
We have some cute kids in CAS, right?
Beautiful.
They beautiful? Congratulations. You're welcome. Anicia Mullins, would you come on down? Sky's sister. Okay, they're gone. Say what's this? Niall Borgia, you will receive an award. Stand on up, and we'll make sure we make it out. Congratulations. All right. Take Mr. Sam's hand. All right, stand up here. Please, let's give a round of applause for our recipients.
So there are some students who we came in and we want to make sure that we acknowledge you because obviously we wrote up certificates that we saw students come in, we didn't want to write too many. So for those students, Jordan, who else do we, is anybody else here for the CAS students?
Jace.
Oh.
No.
And wait.
No, you can stay. We got you.
Oh no, he's getting something.
Jace.
Chase William? Jace. Jace William. There he is. Come on up. Let's shake hands. Is there anyone else that we missed?
Mr. Victor. So again, I mean, these, like Mr. Victor said, we definitely had, a lot more students this spring. But all these students really did well this spring. We had so many different things that happened with them. In terms of just the experiences of going through CAS Prep and going from a winter to a semi-spring to a semi-summer program. These students the younger students, after they took their state test, were doing literacy pieces and working on presentations. And I think we have videos of them that maybe we'll be able to show later on of them doing their presentations. Our test prep students really grew over this period of time as well. So we're just really proud of the work that they've accomplished this spring, and we look forward to working with them again throughout the summer. So let's give them one last round of applause. All right, so we'll ask Ms. Diane to come back for the announcements and some key information to share with you.
I just wanted to announce the change for next year. For some of you who may have that coming up, where if you right now have an 8th grader who will be going to high school or a 5th grader who will be going to 6th grade, you should know that the process is now going to be online, like pre-K and kindergarten was. So I can't for certain tell you how successful that is going to be, but I thought it was important that we mention the change. So get yourselves ready, because it's already a arduous, confusing process to go through with my parents. But for my families who don't have access to computers, or my families who are not technologically savvy, or who are afraid to do this, I don't know, and we were very vocal about it as school counselors, that we didn't think that was the best thing to do all at once in the city without rolling it out in a pilot format. Of course, once they mention it to us, it's done, right? It's not really like the conversation we're having that I can actually give my opinion. So I want my parents to know I am available to help. I don't know if we're gonna have like some help desk situation. We know nothing, but that is something I want you to be very present about as you're putting your kid through the process and choosing schools. It is going to be imperative that you really take the process seriously about which schools are in your neighborhood that you don't want your child to go to, just like you know the schools you do want your children to go to. Often we only focus on the schools we want our kids to go to. You need to have reasons when you tell enrollment, no, I don't want this school for my kid, and why it is not a match. You don't necessarily have to say it's not a good school, but you need to know if there's a high crime rate. You need to know if it's in a neighborhood that has high crime. You need to know that the school grades are not being misrepresented in the book. You want to know what those grades mean. You want to ask those very important questions, and you want to send your kids where there's a match for your kids. Some of us like to live vicariously through our children. We want to go to LaGuardia because we thought we could sing in the shower, and your kid can't sing, but because you have the dream, you go and make your kid audition for those specialized schools, right? Can we not do that? Because I've seen dreams die and parents lose really good spots on your application. So seriously speaking, when you choose some of the specialized schools, don't for 1 second feel like if my kid doesn't get into Stuyvesant or Tech or Latin or any of the specialized schools that there aren't good high schools. So you need to know what those other 12 choices are. What those other good schools in Manhattan, according to your criteria and standards of education for your kid, you need to know what those schools are. Millennium Brooklyn, Millennium Manhattan. You need to know which schools have the same school in 2 different boroughs. Because they will discourage you, oh, we don't have enough room at Bard in Queens, right? But there is a Bard in Manhattan. So you need to know that Queens came up second, just like Millennium Brooklyn became second. There's a Millennium in Manhattan. So please do your homework. Don't take it for granted. Middle school is 3 years. Our goal is to get our kids out of high school into college. So I want you to think long-term in that way. Child does not have to go to school that's like always the number one. Remember, when you go to all these really number one schools, your kid is now competing with kids that are just as smart. And you don't want to like lower their self-confidence because they are not number one now. But you want to instead prepare them with the tools, the skills, the knowledge, and readiness to take a test anywhere they go. So just keep that in mind. It's going to be online, so as soon as you can, start looking through a middle school directory, which is online. You can go to schools.nyc.gov and download the book as you're waiting for the new year to come about, and you can do the same thing for the high school directory. If you have any questions, I'm around.
Thank you so much, Diane. Like I said, the Oracle. And it's really good, and you know, as you guys are here and enjoying and we're going through the celebration, also recognize the fact that it's also a network. It's a community of parents and students, and pooling our resources and our information is a source of power. So, you know, all the things that you're learning, you know, feel free to take it from here, but also take it to other people in your network. And that's the way that we gain power, that's the way we gain influence, and that's the way that we really continue to push ourselves forward. Again, we want to acknowledge, first of all, Amarachi Restaurant, again, for the wonderful food and the drinks, the staff. Thank you guys so much. I was told that there are a few parents that wanted to speak on behalf of CAS and sort of what this program has meant to them. And so at this time, I would like to call any parents that want to give some sort of recognition, comments.
Good afternoon. My name is Yolanda Taylor. How's everybody doing? I would like to send a heartfelt appreciation and a sincere thank you to Mr. Sam and CAS Prep. Sheldon Taylor is my son. However, I have a second son who's older who came through CAS Prep since he was in elementary school. And since then, he has been given a placement at Brooklyn Tech for this September coming up. And he couldn't be here today because he's at orientation. So that's why he couldn't make it. But I want to say thank you because raising two boys, and especially the middle schooler, I found that there was a great dedication of respect for what Mr. Sam thought, what he felt, and that command of respect from the young children. And for that, I want to say thank you. I want to say, see, I'm going to start crying. I want to say thank you for working with my children because you have made a difference, whether you know it or not, or whether or not I say it. So, thank you.
How do you follow that? How do you follow that? I will say, and I'll speak to what she said, Mr. Sam definitely has a presence. I remember when I first met him, you know, just hearing him talk, I had to get closer because he only speaks like 2 decibel levels. Hello. So, can all the students take up there? Everybody turn to page 72. What did you say? There's a concave, rubber concave. Y equals M plus B equals A. So, but you know, like being in the classroom with Mr. Sam, you know, I learned a lot, and you know, even the kids, and some of you that have had us for math, you know that we have 2 very different styles. But I have watched this man, and kids have to warm up to him because they don't know that there's so much love and kind. Like, he is one of the nicest people that you'll ever want to meet. You just wouldn't know it by the way that he looks in the classroom. But you know, like, but after a few years, they get it. You know, it just takes a minute. So like I said, Mr. Sam is he is a dynamic teacher. Mr. Sam. Come on to the stage, please.
We're definitely fighting that. All right, so this next stage, wanted to just acknowledge the fact that there are people out there who actually support the work that we do here at CAS Prep with their time, but also monetarily. And there's been some consistent supporters of us over the years, as well as some new supporters, and I just wanted to kind of recognize those people now. The first one, who's been probably our longest supporter financially, is Blandon Castanev. He was supposed to be here today, but he couldn't make it. Brother Blandon is an alumni of Tech as well, and he reached out about 3 years ago to me and said, I want to support what you're doing. And he created a GoFundMe that first year, and he was able to raise $10,000 for CAS Prep that year. And with that money, we were able to provide scholarships to students, in the program. Primarily our test prep students, that's usually where the scholarship monies tend to be targeted towards. So we use that for those students who are trying to, who are with us studying for the SHSAT. He came back next year, actually last year, and did exactly the same thing through another GoFundMe campaign and raised again about another $10,000. And this year he's doing the same thing again. So again, he wasn't able to be here today, but definitely want to just recognize his name, and if you ever run into him, just say thank you for the work that he's done for us. Another person, Miss Manning, just left a little while ago. She donated, she has a scholarship for us to the tune of $1,000 that she'll be making each year, her and her family. And what this is about, her mother-in-law was an educator as well. And when she passed, they wanted to do something to kind of honor her name. And they looked around at the different programs that were out there serving the community. And they chose CAS Prep as being the one that closely resembled what her mother was able to do for the students of Bedford-Stuyvesant. She was able to organize trips for them. She took them on college tours. She helped them with college essays and applications, and pretty much was, again, that force within the community helping the children of the community. And so we just want to thank the Mannings for that donation as well. And there's a couple of other Brooklyn Tech alumni that are out there that have, again, over the last couple of weeks, that have made donations. And again, so just wanted to acknowledge you as well, wherever you may be, and say thank you for that, and know that we continue this work with your support. We don't charge a lot in CAS Prep, and even with that, we still make, we still try to find ways to work with people. So this work we really do need outside support to bring the level of programming that we do to the children. For instance, this summer we're bringing back the coding program. We're bringing a capoeira class to the students of CAS Prep. We're bringing yoga to the students. We're bringing samba dance. We're working on bringing a chess program and art program. So there's a lot of things that we do. We're not bringing basketball, Mr. Rick. There's a lot of things that we do besides academics. And we think those things are important as far as enriching the lives of our children. So the next thing that we have is we wanted to acknowledge this year's set of students, right? So this year was the I would say probably in terms of our overall goal which is to get students to the specialized high schools. This year we were able to achieve that at our highest rate ever. We were able to get 10 students into specialized high schools between both our programs and NTM. That 10 students actually, unfortunately, represents about 5% of all the black students that got into specialized high schools in all of New York City. So, again, it's unfortunate that 10 is what it is, but again, if we're at 10, our goal next year is to increase that and become even more substantial part of this process. So we do have some of those students here. Some of them are actually now at Tech in orientation. So those two students that are at Tech, we know we have Gregory Taylor, who's there now. And we have Zavi Allen, who's there now as well. Here with us today, though, we do have Jordan J. Paul. Jordan, come up. Jordan will be attending
Brooklyn Tech.
All right. And I believe we have Madison up there as well. Madison is coming. And Madison, you will be attending.
Brooklyn Tech.
So these are just two of them, I think. Is there anyone else left?
James, come represent your brother, James.
We have another Jason's gonna represent. So Jason's brother, older brother Jalen, also will be attending. What school this for? All right. He may get orientation, I'm not sure. So these are just about 3 of the students. Again, with this year we were really grateful that we were able to get 10 students in. And again, we're going to keep working to get even more and more students in as we continue our work at CAS Prep. Thank you very much.
Also, we talked a lot about giving. There might be some of you out there who have seen the dynamic work that we're doing and want to pour into the program. There are people here that you can talk to around. And you can donate on our website, which is CAS, Creative Achievement Success, PREP.org. For those of you watching online, for our online community, that's CAS, PREP.org. Thank you. So, we're doing the partners? Okay. So we want to introduce right now, like we said, this program started off with a man, a dream, a vision, just a hope, really. A belief that students could achieve at a high success. And some of you don't know this, like I'm from Michigan, so we didn't necessarily have specialized high schools. We had great magnet schools and things of that nature, but in New York, it's really a different kind of beast. And so to get into these specialized programs, it means that you have to do well on the SHSAT. But to do well on the SHSAT, you have to have a sort of program that's rigorous enough to be able to prep you for the test. And that means to be able to go to schools and be in programs, and usually it means some sort of financial commitment that most of the students who come from our communities aren't able to be able to do. So Mr. Sam started this program with the belief that if he could give the sort of programming to young kids that look like us, come from our communities, the type of education and rigorous curriculum that would make them successful for the test, then he would be able to do exactly what he's doing today, and that's putting more and more kids into specialized high school to give them a chance to be in high schools that go to the top tier universities and to have some great jobs and careers and to be excellent citizens in this world. So that's really sort of the driving force behind CAS Prep. So we want to acknowledge some of the first students, the inaugural students, if you will, of CAS Prep. So these are the introduction of CAS Prep's first cohort.
So that was CAS's first initial mission, was to get students into specialized high schools. But then what we realized was that, and this cohort played a really important part in that, was that the process of what we did with our students, whether or not they got into a specialized high school or not, there was growth. And when we began to look at that, that was even as important, if not more important, than whether or not we got students into a specialized high school. And that theme of growth is really driven what we do here at CAS. That we can take students that would maybe wherever they may be and allow some growth to occur. And it's amazing to me sometimes what the work of these teachers, which we'll announce later on, can do that in the space of, when we have our spring program, for instance, that in the space of just 2 hours a week, we can impact positively the educational attainment of children. And that's amazing to me, and that speaks to, again, this purpose of CAS, which is about growth and enrichment of the lives of the children of our community. The first cohort of CAS had some students who got into specialized high schools and some who did not. But they all grew. And today we want to recognize that growth because that first cohort this year marks the year that they go off to college. All right? And I want to just acknowledge all of them right now for that achievement, that they were able to manage high school and now are on their way to even greater things and to greater things in their life. So we're going to begin to call them down and have them just say a quick word about, just about the experiences. We'll start off with Kali. So Kali was like one of 2 girls in that first group. And Kali took she didn't take a back seat to anyone. She was always there, always present, always asking questions, always sat in the front, always attentive. And she's also been a CAS prep volunteer over the years, so it's great to see you at this point. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm really proud to be a CAS graduate and to be in that first cohort. I was definitely one of the only 2 girls, and that was intimidating at first, but it was an amazing experience. I don't think I could be who I am today without it, and I'm really excited to start this new chapter of college. So yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Sam.
So this next person, we actually met Kali through him, and they were flicking flack, thick and thin. They knew each other before CAS. They stayed friends over the years. She's going to Stanford? Whoa. Wow. Okay. Wow. This next one is actually the child of 2 people that I went to college with. So it gave me extreme pleasure to actually have them in CAS to help nurture the son of my fraternity brother and my good sister. Derek Odo, can you come down?
So I just want to thank Sam for teaching me that whole summer, 4 hours a day. Put the mic up. Okay, sorry. I just want to thank Sam for teaching me for 4 hours a day, 4 or 5 days a week, for that whole summer for high school. It was a challenge. It was something. It was a challenge, but it really pushed me as a student, as a person, to learn more about myself and how much I could do. And I just want to say, if I didn't get into any specialized high school, but I'm no matter where you are, no matter if you do or if you don't, life moves on. It's a moment in your life. It doesn't define you. I'm going to Georgetown University. Thank you. And no matter where you are, what happens with this whole process, you can still be a great person. You're still amazing as a student, as a person, and you can only grow from being with CAS and afterwards. I just want to again thank Sam for this opportunity. It's been amazing.
All right, so we have 2 left. I may actually have them both come up together. Because the way that this occurred, it was amazing. I coached and still coach a little bit when I have some time with the Brooklyn Skyhawks. And don't say anything, but and this particular year, we played this team called the Bayside Raiders several times, and I think we beat them every time, except for what? Was it the championship? Right. So during the season, we wiped them, right, up and down the field, and it was awesome because they were Bayside, right, and now we're the Skyhawks and they can't handle, and so these 2 students actually played against each other when they were 10 years old, right, and 9 and 10, and then a couple of years later to see them both in the same test prep program. When they walked in and saw each other, they just played against each other the Sunday before or the Saturday before, and so they walk into the room at at the Y, and they're like, wait a minute, I know you, and like, yeah, I know you, we just beat y'all, right? and they both ended up coming to Brooklyn Tech. Slightly different paths, but they both ended up at Brooklyn Tech. So it's with great pleasure that, and I got to coach them at Tech as well. So I mean, for me, this was, coaching a child at 9 and 10 years old, and then being able to actually coach them at, 13, 14, and then watching him grow to this massive person. It's Shafir, Langsford. And then Davion was, he came in as a freshman coaching the other students on how to throw different types of blocks and things like that from his days as a Bayside Raiders. So it's just been great to watch, actually be in the building and watch these young men grow from like children into like truly young men. And I wasn't. And to cap it all off, both of them were starters yesterday in the Boomer game where the All-Stars of All-Stars of New York City, all of New York City played the All-Stars of Long Island. So not only are these students academically gifted, they are talented, they are stars on the field, they were leaders on the field. Davion was a captain yesterday, Shafi was a captain at Tech. Like, these were students who are, again, what we want, and this stands for all the CAS prep students, but again, watching these guys grow almost on a daily basis was amazing for me. So I want to bring both of them up now. So Mr. Sean is reminding me that in football at Tech we have a term called tanks, and these guys were tanks.
Tanks! Tank is the toughest thing in the building. The ones at the front of the line. Who always sit in first? The tanks.
Who's speaking first? I always told her that I would do this whenever I had a microphone in my hand and a camera in my face. Hi, Mom. Every time, it's gotta happen. So I'm the Avion.
It's Father's Day, right?
Not today. Hi, Dad. So, I mean, being in the first class of CAS Prep, Ma said, it was actually like the week before, she said, what school you want to go to? That was the mindset. What school you want to go to? I said I wanted to go to Brooklyn Tech. And so just a few days or a week later, she had a way for me to, she said that there's a class I can take with Coach Sam from the Skyhawks. I was like, the Skyhawks? But he was like, he teaches at the school and he can help you get in. So I was like, all right, let's do it. And it should have seemed so obvious that there would be Skyhawks players there, but still I was surprised to see them when I walked in. And my skin crawled just a little bit. But we're over that now. We're over that now. We were actually talking at the table that I have more championships than him, but
that's lies right there.
he won his fourth championship our freshman year of high school. I said that doesn't count. That doesn't count.
It's in the books, though.
So I have 4, he has 3.
It's in the books, though.
This is my time. So
Y'all hear this?
all my years of high school, I had the privilege of having Coach Sam along the way. If I ever had a question, if there was anything that I needed, he was always the man to go to. So I can say that the past 5 years of my life have been heavily impacted by this man. And I don't think that there's anything that I can ever do to really thank him for that. But I think just saying thank you, Coach, is a start. And starting my next chapter in a small school, junior out of college in Pennsylvania on scholarship is where I'll be going in the fall. I'll be studying engineering physics. And
In 3 years, I'll be leaving with a bachelor's degree, and they'll be sending me to Columbia for a master's degree in civil engineering for 2 years. And I'm also happy to share this little stage with someone that's went from my worst enemy to my best friend, and I can call him my brother now, Shafia.
All right, how's everyone doing? All right. I've known Coach Sam, I call him Coach Sam, for almost like 10 years of my life, really. I started off playing football for him as a 9-year-old kid, as a 9-year-old fat kid, you know, knowing nothing about football. He's fat. That just means you had your time.
Well, we're over that.
Yeah, we're over that. We're over that. It's in the past. It's in the past. You know, he taught me how to snap my foot, how to snap the football, and then, like, you know, the relationship grew from there. And I remember Coach Sam talking to me about going to Brooklyn Tech and the CAS prep program that he was having when I was in the 6th grade, 7th grade. And I immediately did research on Brooklyn Tech, and I thought, damn, this is the school that I want to go. This is my dream school, and this is the high school that I want to go to. So he took me up into his CAS prep program, right? And I enjoyed it. Though I did not get into Brooklyn Tech freshman year, I tried hard, I studied hard over the next summer to get into Tech my sophomore year. And little did I know when I got into Tech my sophomore year, he was going to be my digital electronics teacher as well. So I had him as a coach and a teacher again. And wow, what are the chances? So I thought about that. And there's also where I met, where I knew that I was going to be playing side by side with this bum over here. And I was just thinking back on this the other day, and I thought, damn, you know, we went from, you know, bumping uglies and stuff like that, you know, him playing D-line, I playing center, you know, bumping uglies, always beat him. You know
I screwed up every snap he made. Every snap. He had to think about it.
It's in the
It's
past.
your time.
In the past. Okay. So we went from that to being just best friends and brothers, teammates, you know. We always had each other's back and stuff like that. And I thank the CAS program for that. I thank the CAS program for getting me into Tech. I thank the CAS program for reuniting me with my brother. I thank the CAS program for, you know, getting me into my dream college as well, Rensselaer Polytechnical Institute. I'll be going there August 10th for training camp, and I'll be studying aeronautical engineering. And one last thank you for Coach Sam for making me the man that I am today and the man that I will become.
That's nice, yes. Beautiful. Thank you.
So just a real quick into the program. There's one set of people that I need to acknowledge because truly, after that first year, I almost shut CAS down because I didn't think that we were successful. And if not for the parents of the cohort, you know, being supportive, we wouldn't be here today. So I just want to bring the parents down as well from that first cohort, Reggie, Donna, the playthings. If you're here still, please come down.
Round of applause. It's just amazing. I told Mr. Sam the other day, and I think he's having a moment, and he deserves one. But it's I told him the other day it was so incredible walking into the classroom, like with all these young kids and watching the things that they were studying. Like, I don't know if you guys remember being in 7th and 8th grade and like what you studied, but I walked into the class and Mr. Sam and the students were talking about imaginary numbers, and they were talking about, you know, what certain graphs look like if, you know, you took the how to find anything from the vertex to, you know, whether open, concave, up, or like things that like I never imagined like 7th and 8th graders talking about, and it's just amazing to see, like, and I think Ms. Diane said it earlier when she said, like, the news covers a lot of things about our community, and they talk a lot about, you know, what they see and the type of stories that they deem appropriate, but you don't really see a lot of what we see here today. Like these two young men talking about, you know, how they grew up and they went on to be, I believe one of them said astro engineering, another one said something like a physicist. Like, these are the stories that really, like, it's not that these things don't happen. It's the fact that when you put this type of work and dedication, anything is possible. And so it's just amazing to continually see this narrative being given and being pushed forward in our community, because it takes something like the CAS Prep to be able to make these things achievable. So again, thank you to all of the students, past students, thank you to the current students, and thank you to the students who are coming up and who will be future CAS students. I mean, I feel like I'm a CAS student, kind of. Like, do I get a little token of, we'll talk later. But I mean, it's just amazing. Like, I would have loved to be, and we want to acknowledge the parents as well, because without you, number one, the kids wouldn't be here, right? It's pretty factual. But number two is, like, you know, the fact that you saw a need to want to put your children involved in this program and to, you know, literally like put them in the hands of Sam and the staff. You deserve a lot of credit and acknowledgement. So thank you to the parents. Give yourselves a round of applause. And now we want to acknowledge the staff. Without the staff, there would be no CAS. Is that pretty accurate to say? Okay, I just want to make sure. So all the staff, could you please come forward? And so we can acknowledge you. We know who you are by calling you all by name. Staff, come on, Miss Diane, Miss Macari, Miss Macari. I will keep calling your name. Just come on, we're gonna take a picture. Don't be that person. Come on. Everyone. And so when you wonder like how these kids were able to do some of the great feats that they were able to do, it's not without the help of these wonderful people here. I count myself among the privileged. Why don't we all just introduce ourselves? Quick introduction, who you are, what's your name, and what you teach, or what it is that you do for CAS.
Good afternoon, my name is Sean Knox. I teach first, second, and third grade at CAS.
Good afternoon, my name is Ms. Dakota. I teach 6th and 7th grade English for CAS.
Good afternoon, Jessica Uraka. I taught math for CAS.
I'm Sebastian, I teach math.
My name is Julisse and I taught math for CAS. 6 and 7.
My name is Karen. I'm a co-teacher of Mr. Sean, 3rd, 4th grade.
McCary, administrator.
Hello, I'm Mr. John. I teach 4th and 5th graders now.
We're missing one.
Miss Diane, come on. Where's Mr. Brown?
Diane Nathaniel, resident school counselor.
Hi, my name is Victor Bird, and I am the longest standing math teacher at CAS Prep. Oh, sorry.
Hi, my name is Ali and I teach English.
What grade?
1st to 5th grade.
And I guess I'm Mr. Sam. I kind of teach
Yes, Mrs.
7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade. Math.
17th grade.
Okay. So I just want to say that again, the work of CAS couldn't be done without these amazing individuals up here. Mr. Victor is right. I do text him all hours of the night and the morning. What we're gonna do, of thoughts and ideas, of questions, of ideas that I have, feedback, things that I need. I don't always get it. Because I guess they're sleeping. I'm not sure why. You need to sleep at 1 o'clock in the morning. You should be up thinking about CAS too. But no, I really do want to say I do appreciate your work and look forward to just keep growing what we do and helping the children that come before us on every day. All right, so thank you very much, and I appreciate it. Picture. No certificates. But we do take a picture. That's right. This year we decided to bring in an algebra regents class. And so this is the first time that we have done so. We were teaching our 8th grade students algebra so that they could actually take the regents, which happened like Tuesday. And I believe a couple of them actually went ahead and did so. So I'm in the office working, and I come into the classroom, Mr. Victor's teaching, and the kids look at me and they start snickering. The kids never snicker at me when I walk into the classroom. So I'm like, what did you say, Mr. Victor? And they just kind of just keep looking at me, and they look at him, they look at me, they look at him, they start giggling, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? And so Mr. Victor says, well, I told them that we broke up. And I'm like, you told him what? He's like, yeah, he told him that, we're friends, but friends can break up. Like we had a friend break up. And I'm like, you know what? I can't with you, So this is what he does in the classroom. He's the one that gives it to them in as efficient a manner as possible.
It's like a spoonful of sugar with mash.
Right.
You just give vinegar.
And I just give them, that. Give it over to Mr. Victor for
very brief remark. And it's funny. What are these two gentlemen's names? Wait, come here. What are these two? What are your names again? Davion and Shaffield. So if you look at me and saying, like, we've been doing this for like 10, so it's funny looking at you guys' dynamic, because like me and Sam got into an argument literally over like proportional equations versus like this other type of equation, and that's what our argument was about. And so we've been nerds for like ever, but we also like are really good friends. And you can be both. Like they don't tell little black, young boys and girls that you can be just as nerdy and just as cool. Like, we have traveled together, we've hung out together, we laughed together. You know what I mean? Like I told him like this. I sent him a video about this great YouTube video that was about the derivative versus the integral. And so they were having this debate, and I was telling them, like, yo, it's so cool that they were having this little debate, and we were sitting talking, and we just had to realize, like, yo, we are actually like real nerds. Like, we are really nerdy. But at the same time, it's like you can be more than one thing. And so that's what I see when I see you guys, and that's what CAS is. Like these aren't just like, students that, because I grew up with kids that, they just would be in the library, they had no social life, they're just bookworms their whole life. But you miss out on so many other aspects when you don't connect with other young people like this. So it's beautiful to see all these young kids with all this personality and all this intelligence because you're just making the world not only a much better and brighter place, but also a well-rounded place. So, and that's what this is. So I think, Sam, I don't know if this is still the mantra of CAS, but it says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. And that's to me what CAS is. It's a group of young people, of staff, of parents that are all going together towards a common goal of making us all better. I think that wraps it up, right? That was it, right? Come on. And we're done, you guys. Thank you so much for coming out. We want to thank everybody. And we have desserts. We have cupcakes provided to us by Amarachi. So thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your beautiful weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers again. And thank you to all the parents. And Mr. Sam, happy birthday tomorrow. He is celebrating the 20th anniversary of his 30-something birthday. But still look good though, right? Very, very brilliant scholar and friend. So thank you again, Sam, for everything. We appreciate you. And without further ado, enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Thank you for coming out. We'll see you again next year.